Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, very warm welcome. I'm Megan, and this is some digital art that I did recently, and I didn't record the first part due to the fact of my computer going crazy when I record, but I was like, I want to record this digital art. I'm spending so long on it, and also hopefully seeing it might help you if you like doing digital art, or just might be fun to watch. So yeah, I already had the sketch and the line art done when I started recording this, so right now it's just the sort of boring fill it in so that it's easier to colour part. You know how you do that, how you put like a base layer of colour on, and then you just can clip the other layers of colour to that. I'm not exactly sure how I approach this. I guess I'll find out. I had to leave to sort out my storage because it was full. Where are we now? I moved all my Clip Studio Paint stuff to OneDrive. It was all just saved on my computer. Anyway, let's carry on. So the reason it filled up so much is because I'm recording right now this pretty big painting that I'm doing. And yeah, all of it, from the start to the end. For an art competition actually, then I'll be working Copic Award next. But back to this. So I actually, it turned out that I'd done a bit of the background already, and I just tried to make it so simple. I wanted them running along this road, and I tend to overcomplicate things, but I wanted this to just be really clean and to have a really clean process with this, and I managed to keep it that way. Often I just end up creating these layers where I'm going to put the colour and then I just end up putting stuff on top because I get just confused. So with this, I just wanted to put the flat colours down and then shade, and then if I was to add any blending modes or any extra effects or lighting effects afterwards, I would do that at the very end. And you'll see it later, but I want to explain it now. So, can you see how there's a gradient in the background there that's going from pink to yellow to white? That's at the back, and that was really good for establishing a cool sort of atmosphere. But at the very end, I take that gradient and copy paste it in front of all the other layers, so to the top, above all the other stuff, all the colouring, all the line art, everything. And I think I set it to multiply, and it makes everything look so much cooler, because it creates light where at the bottom it's darker where their feet are, and then it sort of moves up. It's so pretty, or at least I think it is. Hopefully you do too. But that's a little ways ahead. What else? Oh yeah, so with this painting I discovered the oil brush. Before that I'd just been sort of using pens and stuff like that, but the oil brush is so much cooler for getting something to look softer, and also you just every time you're colouring, you're blending with the stuff below and creating textures that might not be there with a regular brush, or creating more subtle textures, because obviously you could have different lines if you're just doing it with a regular sort of a brush and change the colour slightly. But this, you're using one colour but you're getting a bunch of colours, and the more you colour in one area with the oil brush and the harder you go, the darker that the colour is going to get, the more the colour you originally selected. I've had to cut out so many parts where I just get stuck on one of the feet for ages and literally just sitting there, because this is closer to real time than my normal ones, which are normally time lapse, but this isn't real time, and now I've sped it up to 1,000 or something. So it's just sitting on shoes for ages, and I have to cut it out. But because I was looking at the shoes for so long, here's my top tip on shoes, because obviously I used some reference for these, but they're cartoony people, they're not realistic people, and you can try to guess who they are if you want, because I was using a bit of reference, and actually I was using reference of shoes that these people had worn. Actually no, the Converse, I was just yeah, that's a shoe that I can use, that's a common shoe, and it looks cool. So I looked up some Converse photos, and that's the tip: look up photos of shoes. I find shoes very tricky to just come up with out of my head, and if this didn't have the shoes done in sort of detailed, I gotta interrupt myself for a second. Look at those teeth. So satisfying, so subtle, but yes. It would look so, even though things the clothing are pretty simple, if the shoes weren't more, what word am I thinking of? Weren't more exciting, more detailed, then the whole thing, I think, wouldn't look so good. Because shoes are one of those things that are detailed, and you know that they are, and it looks weird when there's an absence of that. I used to struggle so hard with shoes, but I still would if I didn't look up photos of them. You'll remember, maybe you're still in the days of foot avoidance and feet being just almost impossible to draw. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Back to the regular programming, and to be honest, I don't even know what to say. We're just adding in some extra little shadows, trying to make things not look flat. It's crazy how quickly something can go from looking totally flat, like an animated movie where it's animated so you can't shade everything, to looking really soft and like a pretty illustration, like the cover art of said movie that you look at and you're like, ooh, wow, and then you watch the movie and you're like, this doesn't look like cover art, but you don't mind because so much effort it went into animating it anyway that it's amazing and impressive either way. I think that if I was ever in that kind of business area thing, I would be the person making the cover art. I don't think I have patience for animating. Maybe I'll try work on animatic. Actually, I started trying to work on an animatic. I know nothing, and I've done I'm just using storyboarder with my little brain, trying my best. But I've been writing. Oh, look here. I'm using like this purplish grey on his top because it didn't look right, just completely white. But I blended it out a lot so that it would be a bit subtle. Anyway, I've been writing a lot of like short stories and essays recently because leaving cert practice. That's gonna be next year, man alive. Anyway, don't want to think about that. And so I'm making like an animatic to one of the stories that I wrote. I do enjoy subverting people's expectations in my short stories. Calm down, computer, chill out. Oh yeah, these shoes are fun. And also, tip about the laces. I drew each lace just like with a full line art chunky thing, and then I just rubbed out the center of each lace with a skinnier eraser. So that, yeah, because that's sort of more hard. That's harder traditionally, because you've got to like get those tiny lines around it. But with digital, you just erase the thing. You just draw it and erase it. This hair. Wait, and 1 second. I need to let my computer calm down. Can you please suggest a name for this computer in the comments, like based on its personality of screaming at me whenever I use it too much? I was talking about hair. That kind of hair is sort of that blonde where a child would colour it in bright yellow, but it's not bright yellow. And oh my goodness, what am I doing with those eyes? Anyway, we'll talk about the eyes in a second. That's another topic in itself. And so that kind of blonde hair is actually, it's sort of more grey. If you like think about it, and like if you're trying to draw it, it's better to use sort of more like light grey colours, but not bright yellow, and not even gold. It's more white, isn't it? That kind of blonde. Have you got any suggestions for blonde hair and how to draw blonde hair? Share with each other, please. It'd be fun to read people's comments. Sorry if I don't reply quickly. Okay, so this is important. Ground and lighting and more background work. I go wild playing with blending modes. It's just fun. And okay, so it looks like I set that to add glow or something, and it just makes it look so cool, like it's bathed in sun or puddles or something. So then I was trying to draw in shadows, and then I had this genius idea. Wait, this is digital art! And guess what you can do in digital art? I don't know if this is how shadows work, but it was helpful for me. I just took it, you saw it, and then just like filled it in all one colour and then just put it around. And it's such a small thing, but I feel like it really helps to ground them. I mean, I didn't imagine the one in the red's foot to be leaping upwards. I imagined the other guy's foot to be leaping upwards, but I wasn't going to worry about it. It looked fine. And when it looks fine, it's fine. Okay, so these buildings, I only made this with 1 point perspective initially, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to imagine that there's other perspective points going off the other sides, and it's not like it matters too much. Oh, look, here's where I brought that, what I was saying earlier, brought that layer up to the top. Then I realised it was sort of going too fast down, or like I wanted more brightness further up or more darkness further down, so I just moved it up and filled in the rest of the colour that it was at the bottom. Radiance. Okay, finally the eyes. You may have noticed how totally derpy they were looking this whole time. And I showed my sister and she wasn't a fan. So I followed her advice and made normal eyes. But let me show you what this guy looked like in the initial sketch. You have to see it, it's hilarious. A person I showed that version to me... to me? What? A person I showed that version to gave me one of these, like, subtly going on whoo up against a barbed wire fence thing. And he said, that is terrifying. We're at the point of nigglation. I just made up that word. The point of niggling things and trying to figure out what else small things it needs just to look a bit better. Adding in slightly darker darks. That's my chair. Don't worry. And playing around with blending modes more. See, just those tiny things like under the ankle, making that a little bit darker because I forgot to shade it. Adding little touches around the hands, giving him knuckles because knuckles are very important. I appreciate my knuckles a great deal. I'm sorry if you wanted a relaxed voiceover. I'm not in that sort of a mood right now. This has been a more chaotic sort of a voiceover. Tell me if you appreciate that sort of thing. And sorry if it... anyway, I don't know. I should not apologise. I'm going to run this by my sister. And she's going to be like, Megan, you don't know. Megan, please. But here we go. Here we are. It's happened. And I'm not redoing the voiceover because this has already taken ages. As you can see, I did this on the 9th of June. Here, this is what I mean. You just start playing with, like, correction layers afterwards, and when it's not really that necessary. Okay, calm down, computer. Wait. Ooh, shh, just be okay. Tried adding a grey streak of hair. Not sure how well that reads. Wow, it's actually almost finished. Okay, so, the whole thank you for watching spiel and the end. Go check out my Instagram. I do commissions if you would like. And maybe I'll do some digital commissions. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Tell me what you think about that. And please say hi, comment or something. The end. Por favor, mache de hele. Please subscribe.